Are listening to the Estheticians Earning More podcast with Brittany Hageman, episode number 118. Welcome to the Estheticians Earning More podcast. On this podcast, we talk about how to love your esthetician business without the hustle, exhaustion, or overwhelm as it booms into a successful business. I teach simple ways how to approach your business that gives you your life back while still growing a profitable business. I grew BLH Beauty in San Diego to a 6-figure business, and I learned a lot along the way, which I'm excited to share with you here. So let's get started. Do you want to make $100,000 revenue in your esthetician business? If so, I would love to show you how. I want to invite you to coach with me in my one-to-one coaching program. It's completely customizable. The way that it works is we sit down and figure out what you've been doing in your business that hasn't been working, and then make a very specific plan that I help you follow over the course of 6 months to get it done. We meet weekly for 30 minutes and discuss exactly what went well that week and we're going to do next week, whether it's your pricing needs to be raised, or you need to have boundaries with your clients, or if you need to learn how to sell skincare, or you need to niche down and you're doing way too many services and not making money, or all of the above. Whatever the issue is, whatever the reason is you're not making money, we'll figure it out together and we will grow your business into a really profitable business that's sustainable, that you love, and that really helps people. I cannot wait to be your coach and to work with you. To learn more, go to the link in the show notes. And with that, on with today's episode. Hi, how are you? Happy Monday. Welcome back. Sorry we missed last week. It was Labor Day. I did not intend to take the week off, but if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen that I said this week that I've just been really kind of enjoying some family time. My husband has been off way more than he has in the past 3 years, and we've just been enjoying our time, which has been awesome. And so I just took the week off from the podcast. But I'm back, and I'm really excited to talk to you today about the topic about what exactly a boundary is. Because there's a lot of confusion. And I think boundary as a word in general is like a word that is a buzzword and thrown around a lot and misused, and people mean different things when they say boundary. So I want to talk about how I define boundaries, how it's been taught to me and how I teach it, and what I mean when I refer to the word boundary. Okay. A boundary, I'm going to give you my definition, and then we're going to really expand on it. A boundary is something that you do or don't do to protect yourself in some way or another. So from like a boundary would maybe be you wear a seatbelt because you want to protect yourself, your body in a car accident. A boundary may be you are standing in a crowd and someone comes up to you and leans against you, and you don't want them leaning against you, so you move your body away. You're protecting your space. A boundary may be you're in line and someone stands too close behind you and you step up forward away from them. Maybe they do it again. You have to keep moving, and eventually you have to say, hey, I need a little bit of space. That's setting a boundary. You don't like what has happened there. It doesn't work for you. So you're saying no to protect that space. A boundary can be your hours in your business. That you are protecting your own mental space, personal space, family space, time away from your business by saying, yeah, I'm not working all the hours of the week whenever anyone can come in. I'm only available during these hours, no other hours. That's a boundary. A boundary is charging someone when they late cancel. It's protecting the money coming into your business. I can't think of a better word than protect, but it's really kind of ensuring that what feels right to you continues to happen. And if it doesn't feel right, you either remove yourself from the situation or you do not allow the situation to continue anymore. Okay, so you either remove yourself, like you step away from someone who's standing too close from you. You do not allow it to continue. If someone continues to get closer and close behind you in a line, you turn around and say, hey, I'm sorry, you're too close. You don't even have to say I'm sorry. You're too close. I need more space. Something I teach my daughter is when other kids try to hug her or hold her hand or tickle her, some form of affection. And if she doesn't want it, she can just say, I need some space right now. That's her setting a boundary. I don't want you to touch me right now, right? What a boundary is not. And this is the part that I think gets really confusing with people. I think it can get really hard also when you start to try to set boundaries with clients because you feel like you're coming maybe from this energy, which is a boundary is not to punish people. It's not a punishment. It's not a consequence that someone gets. They don't get a consequence. It's your boundary does not equate a consequence for them. It does not create a punishment for them. They may perceive it as that. That's their choice. Like the little girl that maybe is hugging my daughter and she's saying, oh, I need some space. That little girl may take it as rejection and a punishment. That's not what that is. That's just my daughter saying, I need some space. Charging someone for not showing up, not a punishment. You're not punishing them. You are ensuring that the business continues to make money. You had that spot booked. That spot needs to be paid for. You're ensuring that is paid for. You're not punishing them for not showing up. It's not at all a punishment. It's protecting the business. It's ensuring this is what you need for your business. If you look at it as I'm gonna let them, I'm gonna punish them. I'm gonna teach them a consequence of their behavior. It now becomes you're right and they're wrong. Boundaries, there's no right or wrong. Because you may be in a culture where standing close to someone is not weird. Their personal space boundaries, we all have our own personal space bubbles. Some people's personal space bubbles, like you can be literally sitting like as close as possible to them and they don't mind at all. It's totally fine. You can be like my dad and you like are sitting as far away from possible and he still needs more space. He needs a lot of personal physical space. He always has. Right? So that's different for everyone. So just because maybe you and I don't mind and we can sit right next to each other, our legs are touching when we talk, it's totally fine. Maybe those two people over there, that just sounds awful and they want to sit across from each other and not touch. One is not right and one is not wrong. I am not right and you are not right because we like to have our legs touch and the people over there are wrong because they don't, or vice versa. I actually don't like touching people like that. That's a no for me, unless it's like my husband or my child or someone I'm very close to emotionally. But like, I'm not that touchy of a feely person. I like hugs and things like that. But like, if you came and sat right next to me, I would scoot back. Like, that's too much for me. But it's not wrong if you like to sit there. I have a good friend of mine who she doesn't even notice it. Nothing's wrong with that. But I can also be like, ooh, it's too much for me. I'm going to scoot back a little bit. Right? So when you start to get into the right and the wrong and the consequent and the punishment, then it becomes an antagonistic experience. You did me wrong, and now I'm going to do you wrong. You didn't show up for your appointment, so now I'm going to charge you. You keep rescheduling, so now I'm not going to fit you in. You do this, now I'm going to do that. Versus, I just don't like sitting close to people. I just don't like being tickled. I just don't like working past 5 o'clock. It just doesn't work for me. I don't like working Sundays or whatever days off that you're off, people want to come in. I just have to guarantee the money comes in consistently and booked. So that's why I charge people late fees if they don't come or whatever. It is for you. It's only for you. It's not about them. You approach it as what is going to make me feel best in this situation, the most authentic thing to me, not what is going to hurt them or not hurt them. Boundaries are very authentic. You naturally have those instincts. What has happened, especially if you're a people pleaser, it's over time you've had those instincts. Maybe you were a child and someone came and put their arms around you, an adult that you loved or a friend or a family member or whatever, and you were like, I don't want to be touched right now. It just, that instinct came up. That was a hard no for you, right? Absolutely nope. And your mom or your dad or your aunt or your cousin or someone said, oh, he just likes hugging you. Oh, that's so sweet. And you're like, I don't want to be touched right now. I was playing with this toy, and now my brother, my cousin, my friend comes up and wraps their arm around me. I don't like this. This is a no for me right now. But now you have been told this. So you're like, oh, I guess that's not nice. That's, again, we talked about being nice. That's not nice to say, I don't like that, because now he feels sad because he was just trying to hug me. Right? Or she was just trying to hug me, or they were just trying to tickle me or play or whatever. This isn't a boy versus a girl thing, even though that is 1,000% a thing in our culture. That's another episode. This is just general, your body as a child, knowing that this isn't okay with me, and being told, no. This is the right thing, the nice thing to do. Again, now it's this person's feelings are more important than the way that I feel, than my feelings. So I'm going to ignore my feelings to make sure this person doesn't feel uncomfortable by hugging me or reading over my shoulder. Like, I hate people read over my shoulder. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's so uncomfortable. Like, I also don't like people touching the back of my neck or my neck in general, but especially the back of my neck. Like, I literally cannot stand it. I don't like that feeling. No one can do it. Not my husband, not my daughter, nada, right? I just don't like it. And I remember when I first met my husband, he was like, whoa, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't like it. Of course, I could be like, well, he likes to touch my neck or whatever, and that makes him happy, so I have to get over it. No. People like to come when they come to appointments. That's great. That's not what works for you. And you can say that. Like, some people like to sit close when they talk. Some people don't. Not for everybody, right? Some people want to come for appointments on Saturdays at 9 a.m. Maybe you don't work that time. Maybe you've worked that for a long time and now you're at the point you don't need to. So you're taking that time back for yourself. Good for you. Do it. But those people are going to be unhappy because it's not what they wanted. They wanted to give you a hug and you don't want to be hugged right now, right? They want to stand right behind you in the line because they're so excited. And then you don't like that. So again, when you start to think about making boundaries with your clients in your business, I want you to think about what feels the best for you. That is the question you need to answer. Not what does Brittany think I should do in my business. It doesn't matter what I think, right? Or anybody else, your family member, your partner, or whatever, friend, other estheticians, doesn't matter at all. It's what feels the best for you. So if you just absolutely could care less about charging late fees, if people cancel late or whatever, and it doesn't bother you at all, you move people around and it's totally fine, keep doing that. No problem. You're not resentful about it. You're not irritated. You like it. It's kind of like a game of cat and mouse. It's like, okay, let's try to fit people in. It's this puzzle. Do it. You don't mind people rescheduling and changing the times or whatever boundary you're trying to set. Fine. No problem. But if you're doing something consistently in your business, you're saying yes to something when you mean no, you're trying to be nice, you're trying to people please, and you're like, I need to set a boundary. And then you instantly kind of panic because you're like, I don't want to people to feel like they're in trouble is probably because of the way you're looking at it. I also want to say this in this episode. Setting boundaries with someone, or just a population in general, so your clients, maybe friends, family, I think it's harder the closer they get to you. Your friends, family can be even harder than like people, clients who you may care about but you don't have as intimate of a relationship with. But setting boundaries with people can be so effing hard. Like, I have had really awful situations setting boundaries with people, and then I always have to keep kind of checking back. Like, am I the crazy one here? Like, wait a minute. Am I not paying attention to X? Am I not, like, what is happening? Who is wrong in the situation? Because what usually happens if that has happened to you is that the other person tends to make you now wrong. Even if you set the boundary totally out of your own best interest, like you just don't like waking up early, so you're not doing any appointments before noon anymore. It's not for you, or whatever it is. And they're like, I can only come mornings. Just like they start to lay on the guilt, they start to lay on whatever. And maybe they even get a little bit, they kind of like say something that's mean, uncalled for, like, you're now too big for your britches, you think you don't have to work mornings or whatever. I know people say these things. I haven't had that personally happen with clients that I can recall. But you know what I mean. People sometimes will attack you when you set a boundary, whether they attack you like really intensely or even a little bit kind of snarky, little side comments. This does happen. This will happen. And the thing that I find to be really challenging every time I've done this, and I've set boundaries with family members and friends and whatever, is I don't know which way is up. A lot of times these people are really good at keeping you where they want you to be in your behavior, you know what I mean? Their relationship with you. And I don't necessarily believe that most people, it comes from a place of malice. I think that's definitely the case for some people, but I don't think it's the case for most people. I think they just are used to, this is how they're used to communicating with people and getting what they want. So when this happens, it's really helpful to have someone who holds up a mirror and says, oh, no, that's a them problem, not a you. Nope, that's not a you problem. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of a you problem. Nope, no. Don't worry. I know they're saying this is a you problem. This is not. That's a them problem. You really need someone to kind of guide you through the whirlwind that can happen in these situations, especially if you're making a big change in the way you allow things to happen in your business. It can be incredibly uncomfortable and terrifying. And then having these interactions with clients and knowing what to say and how to respond to their comments and questions can just be a lot. It can be really overwhelming. That is what coaching is for. It's kind of like your business therapist. Honestly, like, I'm not a therapist. I have no therapy degrees. I did study psychology in college. I do have a psychology degree, but that does not mean I have any certifications to actually do therapy. But I support you not only creating that plan, but then following through with the plan, making that change. And that whole program is going to be live very soon. But in the meantime, if you just want to get started with me, I am taking clients one-on-one that are not in the whole package. They're just, you just buy one session. And then those, if you want to keep seeing me and we can keep working together, then you can do that as well. And we can talk more about that individually until I actually launch the program. But I want to say that if you have tried to set boundaries in the past and you're having such a hard time with it, you need someone to hold your hand. You really do. You need someone to flesh out what it is you really want, then implement it and deal with everyone's feelings. Your feelings, their feelings, all the things. And it can really go so much smoother for you. So if you're interested in that, link in the show notes to book a one-on-one appointment with me. And I'll talk to you next week. Have a fantastic week. Bye for now. hey, if you like this podcast, please rate and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening to. I cannot tell you how much that helps my podcast grow. So you can click 5 stars if you like it and you want to give me 5 stars. And please leave a review about telling me why you like it so that I can help other estheticians grow their business. Thank you so much.